Hey guys, you're about to watch a video I recorded back in 2018. It was a ripper. It was basically around indecision. I'd been dealing with a lot of people who are really struggling to make a decision. And so, I kind of teaching how speed is what you need and a bit of a filter and a process on how to make quick decisions and move forward. Here's the video.
No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Time to run it off.
One of the things that I'm seeing across the board unanimously is a huge amount of indecision, right? People are like flip-flopping. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? Should I go this way? Should I go this way? And they're just losing heaps of momentum and heaps of time. And speed is really valuable when you're growing a business. Speed and momentum are things that most people don't even talk about. And yet, the compounding effect of keeping your business growing means that the exponential curve kicks in way faster. So you just got to keep that momentum. And so, I just want to basically give you a structure that you can use to keep that momentum alive. When faced with a decision, I'm just going to give it to you this way. We've got to learn to measure and then move. Measure and then move. What do I mean by measure? We've got to look at two things. We've got to look at the upside of the decision and the downside of the decision, okay? And we've actually got to get really, really clear on what that is. And then once we start to get a picture of the upside versus the downside, then we just got to make a decision to move, okay? So what do I mean by this? I mean, all right, so a lot of people, let's say they're looking to do some marketing, right? Let's say we're going to run Google AdWords, right? And I've got a $500 budget. Most people will be sitting there freaking out about, what happens if I lose my money? And it's a fair call. That's why I'm saying measure and then move. The problem I've got is that most people focus on the downside and they don't factor in the upside. When it comes to every decision, we've got to look at what's the downside, what's the potential upside. And if the upside completely outweighs the downside, then move, right? So let's say it's spending $500 on Google AdWords campaign. Well, so the total downside is $500, right? Like I burn all my money, I get no leads, something goes wrong, whatever, okay? So I lose all my money. But here's the upside. The upside could be that, they were $10 clicks, all right? So I got 50 clicks and 1 in 10 clicks became a customer. So I got 5 new customers for my $500, right? Let's say that's the upside. Well, what does that mean? Well, firstly, I'm gonna make more money off those 5 probably than it cost me to do the campaign. Secondly, those 5 are going to give me money that I can plow back into Google AdWords to get more customers, which means maybe the referrals from those 5 mean that I go to the next level, which means I can employ someone. So the possible downside is lose 500. The possible upside is put on 5 customers that give you heaps of referral, heaps of momentum, and heaps more cash to be able to keep growing. So it's a no-brainer, right? The downside is X, the upside is Y, you just go do it. But most of the people get caught on the downside. What am I going to lose? What am I going to lose? What am I going to lose? And it's costing you a fortune to kind of play that game. Here's another one that's really interesting for me that I hear a lot. They don't want to employ someone because, it's busy now, but we're seasonal and I don't know that we're going to be busy, after Christmas or whatever. And I sit there and I'm like, wow, really? So you're going to penalize your entire future based on, some theory that may not even come to pass? Like, let's say you wanted to employ someone now and it was a busy season, but you weren't always busy. Let's say retail shop or trades-based businesses, really busy over the Christmas period, a bit of a lull January, February, right? Let's say that. Well, so the downside is that you could put this person on, obviously, with the intention of giving them a full-time job forever. And the downside is you have to sack them or lay them off in January, right? That's the downside, right? That is the ultimate downside. But the upside is that you don't. You put them on, you get heaps, you do lots more marketing, you get heaps more clients, and you keep that person forever, and you make money off that person, which allows you to invest more in marketing to get 3 more staff in the next 12 months. The downside is X, the upside is Y. Once you actually sit there and start doing the numbers on the possible downside and the possible upside, you'll realize that in most cases, the upside is far bigger than the downside is down. So then you've got to make a decision and move. The worst thing that can happen with employing that staff member, the worst thing that can possibly happen is you start out with the intention of employing them full time, and then in January you have to sit them down and say, I'm sorry, it hasn't worked out. I wanted to employ you full time. This was never our intention, but I have to let you go. That's the worst thing that can happen. But the upside The upside is huge. The upside is, you know, a phenomenal staff member, heaps of work coming in the door to keep them moving, them, you know, them making money for you, you investing that money back in more customers and keep building your business. See, it's a no-brainer. Once you've done the numbers and you've looked at it, what's the upside, what's the downside? Move. Once you've measured, move. But so many people, they play small in here. They're always looking at what could possibly go wrong instead of what could possibly go right. And I'm going to say to you that thinking is costing you a fortune. If you actually sit down and measure, you know, what is the upside, what is the downside? If the upside is far bigger than the possible downside, move, go get it done. You know, you won't build a business by staying small. You won't build a business by making no moves, right? You can't win a sports game by playing defense only, right? The best thing you can do in a sporting game, if you play defense, the best outcome you could hope for is 0-0, a zero-sum game. You've actually got to go out there, you know, take the field, take some shots at goal and get some, okay? It's just not going to happen if you don't make decisions. You've got to make a decision and then you've got to back yourself. And once you've made the decision to move, you've got to do the behavior behind it to make sure it works. For example, going back to the staff member, if you've made the decision to put them on, the pressure of having another staff member and the pressure of them maybe not having enough work in the new year after the season finishes should drive you to change your behavior, to run more marketing strategies, to go and reach out to more customers so that you do have the work behind you in January, February to make sure that they can stay on, okay? Once you've made the decision to move, then your behavior must map that intention to get it to work. And so I'm just seeing so many people making no decisions, and it scares me because, you know, you've got to make those punts, you've got to make those bets, you've got to back yourself. Measure the numbers, measure the outcome, upside, downside, and then move. And you'll find that your business will explode. And you know what? The worst thing that can happen is the downside happens. That's the worst thing that can happen when you measure these things. But if you're not prepared to make any downside hits, you won't build a great business. And that's my biggest concern for you. I want you to have that big business, the big influence, that lifestyle that you have been, you know, dreaming of. And so that's just one of my theories. One of my theories is you have to measure upside, downside, and then move, get it done. You know, you be prepared to get some of those things wrong, but if you get just a few of the key ones right, you'll build a great business, okay? And you can't win by playing defense. I guess that's it. That's the short summary of it all. Anyway, I'm going to continually put out my thoughts like this, just randomly, different times, just because I want to bring value to you guys and because you're super special. And so, yeah, by the way, if you thought that was valuable, put me a comment in the comments box. Put me a comment. Like, what was the thing that jumped out to you? Or give me your 2 cents in the comments box. I'd love to get that feedback from you. Love you guys heaps. I'll see you around.
No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I tell 'em run it off.